So let's talk about a pimp and a narcissist and what a pimp told me and how it applies to a narcissist. Pimps are great examples of narcissism because they're so obvious. In many cases, if not all cases, a pimp is an overt narcissist, and their moves are somewhat obvious, to the more aware. And being aware of those obvious moves makes the more subtle moves more obvious. So, in that spirit, Pimp told me about 10 years ago, he said, well, get a girl to love you early. And early in the relationship, let her see you with other women and be comfortable with it, be okay with it. Whether that be flirting, um, overt sexualization, because you want her to be attached to you, but also to lower her standards and lower her expectations that you're going to be monogamous with her. So you're running that balance entirely. And then that allows you multiple sources of supply, um, multiple girls to be working for you, and means that your harem goes stronger, and business gets stronger. And you know, the question is, what are the parallels of narcissism? And really, this is a form of triangulation, right? So triangulation is when you use another person to get leverage over really both people. So you're cross triangulating really in many cases. So let's go through a male example and a female example. So from a male narcissist perspective, so one example again, more subtle, more covert when you're talking about narcissist versus pimp. But a male narcissist may say, okay, like for a while you think you're exclusive, you start talking about exclusive, you start making future plans, etc. You get your target more and more hooked, and then you start to bring in other people, right? You start to float that ever so subtly. You're toe dipping, you're dancing around the subject. So yes, on one moment you are totally committed to being monogamous and exclusive to this other person, blah blah blah. And then the next moment, oh, there's a girl at church that I'm attracted to. Oh, and that we're just friends. Let's just start there. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? We're just friends. I'm friends with a girl. Okay, but she's older. Doesn't matter. But I'm attracted to her. Oh. How do you feel about that? And we went on. We had two private meetings. Let me just say private meetings because that is that doesn't sound as spicy as a date, right? It's not as scandalous as a date. We'll call it a private meeting. And actually I'm attracted to her, but we're just friends. How do you feel about that? So you see that it's inching closer to using this new person as a way to make yourself appear scarce. Like other people are in demand, they may snatch you up. So now the target wants you more, right? You're desirable. You could be off the market with this other person. Now you're more desirable. Now I want to potentially, if you're buying this strategy, I want to work harder for you because I now have competition, right? Now I have this jealousy. And also there's a fear of losing you, which increases the attraction sometimes. Sometimes. If played correctly and on the right mind, right? If you have a strong personal boundary, okay, go with them, bye, right? And so that is how the game is played, inch by inch, roll forward, roll backward, the push pull, um, hope and fear, and that's the roller coaster. So let's go from female to male, female narcissist. Well, I have friends. I have male friends. I have a lot of male friends, right? That's just I don't like. dealing with other girls or drama. I have a lot of male friends. All right, so that's the beginning of a triangulation, right? A little bit of fear. Oh. I don't want to seem jealous. I don't want to seem controlling of you. Oh, by the way, those friends are my exes. Yeah, I still, have love in my heart for my exes, but it's not romantic. And, we discover I don't really like him. He did XYZ. He's a craziness, right? So they're in the picture. They're floating around. But apparently, you're reassured. You're afraid and reassured. Afraid and reassured. Push pull, right? Oh, he helped me do this. He had a truck and, I needed the help. And, he's just a really nice guy. Oh, he has XYZ mental disorder. He has PTSD. So now I feel sympathy for him, right? You would deny me caring for somebody with PTSD, would you? Right? Guilt, shame, fear, reassurance, roller coaster, push pull. Oh, we hung out. Oh, we cuddled, but it wasn't sexual. And all the while, so if this other person, whether it be an ex or a new person, whatever it is, if you're in a prolonged relationship, you're in a sustained devaluation. The other person is getting more and more idealized, and more is gaining more and more, um, you know, potentially earning a spot as the intimate partner, the new intimate partner, newly crowned intimate partner primary source. As long as they were a good little toy in the toy box, right? If they played well, if they didn't wound the narcissist in the toy box and call him out, but they just, you know, showed that they were ashamed of their behavior, which they probably didn't do anything wrong, except the narcissist got bored with their fuel supply. But if they said, "Oh, it's my fault," if they show to the narcissist that they will be under control, then maybe they get a place to kick out the existing intimate partner primary source and replace it with themselves. Okay, great. So more and more devaluation, um, triangulation, and that's how it's done. Toe dip and incremental moves, incremental devaluation, incremental idealization until there's a new golden period to which they're so drunk on the idealization that you're painted black as the former intimate partner primary source. You are treacherous. You are a broken appliance. And you go to the shelf in the garage. You're bought and paid for, so you're not you don't deserve to be had by anybody else. You don't deserve to be taken to the store and resold. You are their property. You are their horse in the stable. You are their toy in the toy box. And you are there to stay there to be a potential fuel supply reserve once the current one fails, which they suspect will fail. Because if they didn't suspect it, they wouldn't be breadcrumbing 2, 3 other people in the whole process. And that is the game. That is the game of triangulation, the direct correlation with pimping, but just ever so more subtle and overt, from the outside, socially acceptable. Thanks for listening.